Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well. We're going to get started with today's lesson. And so we're going to be doing lesson 931, day 2. For today's lesson, you will need some graph paper. So please make sure you have graph paper with you. I am going to ask you to do the graphs. I think it's very powerful to do them. I think it's a good review. And that's kind of what we're practicing for the next several days. So please make sure you follow along with us and do the problems on your own. Okay? Let's begin. We have a series of problems. It's only about 3 problems. It's not going to take too long, 4 problems. And I'm going to have you pause after every single one just so you can do the work. So graph the inequality below on graph paper. For each inequality, graph the boundary as either a solid or a dashed line. Now the boundary is that line that we are going to put, and hopefully you remember what's true. And again, you might really want to write this down. If you have greater than or less than, you are going to have a dashed line. Why dashed? Because it does not include the points on the line. Now, if you have a greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, then you're going to have a solid line. That is an important thing to write down, so I'm asking you, please write that down somewhere on your paper. Have that, because that's something you're going to need to know as we're doing this work. Everything else, once you understand those basics, everything else is pretty straightforward. Okay? So I'm going to do this first one with you. After that, you're going to try these problems on your own. So y is greater than negative 1/3 x minus 1. Now we know the y-intercept is negative 1, and we have a slope of negative 1/3. So it's rise over run, so negative 1 over 3. The rise would be negative 1, okay, and run of 3. So I go down 1 over 3, and I'd end up here. And I can't go another one. It'd be over here somewhere. But if I want to, I could go backwards and have that here. So I almost messed up. What was my mistake there? Did you catch it? Well, you should have caught it. My y-intercept is negative 1. Point there. Point there. Oh, point there. The last thing I got to do is look at this. Now, since it is y is greater than, that means I'm going to have a dashed line there. And so this should be a dashed line. Now, even though it's dashed, I still put arrows at the end because it still keeps going. Remember that? Arrows at the end because it does keep going. Now, I'm almost done. The last thing I need to do is find the side that I shade. Now, guys, here it is. Here's a key point, and if you're not watching the video, you're going to miss out on a big tip here that helps you out. You could plug in any point that would work. You could plug in a point up here, you could plug in a point down there into the inequality and see if it works. Some of you will try to see that, oh, that equal sign, that less than sign is pointing in that direction, so I'm going to shade in this side, or that it's pointing in this direction. No, that doesn't always work, depending on where the variable's at. The best trick, ready for it? Here we go, ready? Go on break. No, I'm kidding. The best trick is to pick the origin. As long as the line's not on the origin, pick the origin. The origin is the easiest point to check here. And you're going to actually just check it. 0 is greater than negative 1/3 times 0 minus 1. Well, this just becomes 0. 0 is greater than negative 1. Is that true? Yes? Then everything on this side must be true. So this is the side that gets shaded in. Okay, so my line is there, and everything above it gets shaded in. Cool? Always pick point 0, 0, as long as it's not on the line. If the point 0, 0 is not on the line, then pick another point that would be easier for that. Okay? All right, that's the only one I'm doing for you. You guys are doing the rest on your own. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is you go to the problem. Like, let's go to the next problem. Here's the very next problem. Y is less than or equal to 4x plus 2. Please make a quick coordinate grid. Just you don't even have to number it. Assume every score is worth 1. Go ahead and please draw the coordinate grid and graph that. Do the line or determine what the boundary is, and then shade the right side. I do expect you to shade the right side by plugging in point 0, 0. Always. Some of you are like, but I can just do it in my head. Great. Do it on your paper as well. You just have to show it, and teachers in the future in high school are going to expect to see that work. So you got to show it. Got it? So pause the video when you're done, unpause it, and we'll check it. Okay. I hope you paused it. I hope you got it. Let's see it. Okay. Now, before actually I show it, because guys, the slope is 4, the y-intercept is 2. That should be pretty straightforward. Plug in point 0, 0. 0 is less than or equal to 4 times 0 plus 2. Again, this is 0, so 0 is less than or equal to 2. Oh, that's true. So the side that has point 0, 0 is the side that's going to make that true. Let's see what the answer is. should look like that. And as you see, 0.00 is here, and so this side gets shaded in. Since it is a less than or equal to, it is a solid line because it does include the points on the line. Now, the other thing that you are missing here that I don't have because I did this on Desmos, and I just did that work there and I copied it. It should have arrows on the end there. Cool. Did you get that right? Hopefully. Okay, let's try another one. How about this one? Y is less than 5 halves x plus 3. Y is less than 5 halves x plus 3. Please pause it, graph it, do the boundary, shade the side. Okay, you done? You done? If you're not, pause it, do it. Come on, do it, please, okay? All right, ready? 0. 0 is less than 5 halves times 0 plus 3. Again, that cancels out. 0 is less than 3. Yes, that's true again. Okay, so since it's true again, the point side that has 0.00 should be shaded, and it should look like that. Now, did you catch that? It does not have an equal sign, so there should be a dashed line with, again, arrows at the end. 0.00 did work, so everything over here gets shaded in. Cool. Last one. 2x minus y is less than or equal to 5. 2x minus y is less than or equal to 5. Solve that problem. Think about it. Pause, graph it, boundary point, shade the side. Okay, now I do need to do some work here to make this work. Now here is where you do have to be careful, okay? And this, please, hopefully you stopped and checked this out, okay? 2x, okay? So I want to get the y alone, so I do minus 2x and minus 2x, and I get negative y is less than or equal to 5 minus 2x. Now, I am not done because I've got a negative y and I want to get rid of that. Now, here we go. Big thing to note, and I hope you are watching the video and paying attention carefully, because if not, you're going to be confused, you're going to be lost. So those of you skipping the video, well, you're not going to hear this, and you're going to miss out on a lot, and you're going to get these problems wrong. Ready? I need to get rid of this negative. So to do that, I multiply everything by -1. When you do that, it switches everything to the opposite. Do you hear me? Everything to the opposite. That means y becomes positive. The sign switches to the opposite, and then you have negative 5 plus 2x. Okay, so that's what you should have now. And then you plug in 0.00, and is 0 greater than or equal to negative 5 plus 2 times 0. This is negative. It gets cancelled out. Is 0 greater than or equal to negative? Man, I wish one of these answers would have been wrong, but it is, so therefore it's true, so everything on 0.00 should end up like that. So you should have a slope of y-intercept to -5, a growth of +2, and then it's a solid line because it does have equal to, and it gets shaded in over here because 0.00 works. So, guys, not a hard process, not a complicated process, but there's a lot of details you have to pay attention to. You got to pay attention, find the boundary point, got to decide if it's solid or dashed, got to have arrows at the end, then you got to plug in 0.00 to determine what side is shaded, and remember, if you multiply or divide by a negative, if you multiply everything or divide by a negative, switching things to their opposite, the sign is going to switch. Okay, that was a lot of information, guys. 3 problems, but a lot of things to remember there. So your homework for today is 73 through 76. Please make sure you do that. If you do have questions, please check with me. Please check with classmates. Please go to Khan Academy and type that in and figure out what to do. If not, talk to me, and I'll be glad to help you out, okay? I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later.